Hey everyone, I'm the Stable Lad, and welcome back to the channel where we break down how to earn real, consistent income with stablecoins, without the hype and without the sleepless nights. So this week's video actually comes from one of you. Subscriber Showcash asked a question that I think a lot of people have been wondering. Is there a super low risk, park and forget way to invest in stablecoins? And honestly, it's a fantastic question, because while I love actively managing my portfolio, I know that most people don't have the time or the desire to do that. So today, let's strip all that down. I'll show you what I would personally do if I wanted to keep things really simple. Fewer moving parts, less management, and still earning solid yield. And it should obviously go without saying that this is not financial advice. I'm sharing with you what I would personally do with my own money based on my own comfort level with risk. So let's start with the simplest route, the one I might set up for my mom. I'd have her open up a Coinbase account and hold stablecoins there. A lot of exchanges now offer around 4 to 6% on stablecoins like USDC or USDT. It's basically the crypto version of a savings account, and to be honest, for someone who wants zero DeFi involvement, it's not the worst place to start. Coinbase, for example, is currently offering 4.1% just for holding USDC in Coinbase. If you stake it, the current APY jumps to something around 10.3%, which is powered by Morpho. But of course, there is a serious trade-off. You're giving up control of your assets. When you keep your money on an exchange, you're trusting that company to stay solvent, to manage your reserves properly, and to honor withdrawals, of course. And as history has shown us, that's not always the way it goes. Remember Celsius? Billions. Wiped out. FTX? Poof. Even Binance, though still standing strong, has faced multiple investigations and settlements. So these risks are real and things to keep in mind. Now, if I had to rank the exchanges, Coinbase is my gold standard. They're publicly traded, fully regulated in the United States, and they publish regular transparency reports. Gemini also went public with their IPO, another really good sign of maturity and transparency, but if memory serves me, they did pause their old Gemini Earn program, so maybe they're working on something new there. I don't know if they offer money on stablecoins. And Kraken, the OG, has always had a strong reputation. They're still privately held for now, but I think a public offering is coming next year. Kraken currently offers around 5% yield on USDC, which is very respectable. Let's take a quick pause. If you'd like a simple reference guide that shows you how I think about building a stablecoin portfolio, from risk tiers to position sizing, and even how insurance fits in, I've put together a free guide you can download. It's the same framework that I use myself, designed to keep things steady and easy to follow at a glance. The link's right below this video. Grab the guide, and while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the weekly updates I share on how I'm adjusting my own portfolio. All right, let's get back to it. So that's one option. Centralized and convenient, but you're giving up self-custody and taking on counterparty risk. All right, let's talk about what I'd do if I wanted to keep things simple but still stay on-chain. If I was starting from scratch and I didn't want to actively manage a portfolio, I'd keep things dead simple. USDC only. That's Circle stablecoin. I did a full video back on USDC that I'll link here. Fully backed by cash and treasuries and probably the most transparent stablecoin on the market, full stop. Then regarding protocols, I'd only use what I call grade A protocols. These are the ones that have been around for years, they've been battle tested, audited, and consistently remained safe. For me, that is a very small list. It includes Aave, Compound, MakerDAO, Uniswap, and Curve. Now, Uniswap and Curve are great, but they usually require multiple stablecoins to create a pool, and that adds complexity, which we're trying to avoid here. So if I'm trying to keep things super simple, I'm just going to stick to the OGs and lend my stables on Aave or Compound. You deposit, you earn yield, and you walk away. And I choose a chain probably with cheap fees and a proven track record, something like Base or Arbitrum, which are both Ethereum Layer 2s with strong DeFi ecosystems. Polygon or Optimism would also work. If you're a Solana fan, the only DeFi program I personally really trust there with stablecoins is Camino Finance, but honestly, Solana just still feels a little bit early to me when it comes to DeFi infrastructure. Avalanche, on the other hand, has been building in DeFi for a really long time, and I would be comfortable holding USDC on Aave there for a long-term stable yield strategy. Now, if I was willing to take just a bit more risk, say I wanted something with slightly higher yield but still conservative, I'd look at native stablecoins from these big protocols. For example, USDS on Sky, which is formerly MakerDAO, offers a kind of savings model. You can get just under 5% in base yield, and if you stake it, you can earn additional. Or there's Go, GHO, Aave's own stablecoin. It's newer, so it carries a little bit more risk than USDC, but it's built directly into the Aave ecosystem. If I wanted to lean a little bit more aggressive, that's probably where I'd go, and there's tons of opportunity with Go right now on Aave. If I stepped even further down the risk curve, chasing more yield but accepting a little bit more complexity, I'd look at protocols like Otto, Pendle, Euler, Fluid, and even Maple's Syrup USDC pool. I've done a bunch of videos on these that I'll link to in the show notes. These are what I also call the set it, forget it kind of options. Auto automates portfolio allocation, and it's a great medium risk option. Pendle is another favorite, and fixed yield markets where you can lock in a rate and know exactly what you're going to earn. I'd look for long tail fixed yields there. The longer the term, the closer you get to set it and forget it. But of course, this is still DeFi, and things can happen. Pools can dry up, smart contracts can break. So even with these, I would probably set a personal reminder once a month just to check that everything is still on track. And if I was going to park my money anywhere for months at a time, especially in some of these medium risk plays, I would buy insurance. I would do that through Open Cover or some other on-chain cover platforms. I'd probably buy 3 to 6 months of coverage depending on how often I plan to check it. That way, if something catastrophic happens, I've protected at least part of my downside. For me, this makes those medium risk plays like Auto, Pendle, or Euler far more appealing. Insurance doesn't completely eliminate my risk, but it makes it a whole lot easier for me to sleep at night, especially when these positions are under-diversified and carry more exposure. Open Cover offers protection for most of these major protocols: Fluid, Pendle, Euler, Auto, and others. And while it does eat into the APY a little bit, the peace of mind to me is worth it if I'm concentrating all of my stablecoins into one investment. Look, my portfolio is complex, and there's a reason for that. I'm actively managing it. I'm constantly optimizing for maximum yield with minimal acceptable risk. But if I wanted something truly simple, one chain, one stablecoin, 1 or 2 protocols, this is exactly what I would do. USDC only, Aave or Compound, on-chain with cheap fees and proven security, optional insurance if I wanted a peace of mind and didn't plan to check often. That's about as close as you can get, in my mind, to set and forget in DeFi. And even then, nothing in crypto is ever truly set and forget. Terra Luna tried to do that. They offered risk-free 20% yields, and we all know how that ended. Billions disappeared overnight. So the truth is that the closest thing to truly safe passive income in crypto is probably Aave, but the trade-off is yield. Sometimes it's so low you might look at your bank account and think, oh, that doesn't look so bad anymore. Still, if you layer insurance on top of something like Auto or Euler, or you lock in a fixed yield position on Pendle, you can build something that feels both stable and rewarding. So yes, my portfolio is complex because I treat it like a business, but for a lot of people, simplicity is a feature, not a flaw. So I say, start simple, stay safe, and just always make sure your money's working for you, not the other way around. Till the next time, I'm the Stable Lad. I'm the Stable Lad, and if you liked today's video, please hit that subscribe button. Every week I break down what's happening in the world of stablecoins and why it matters, clearly, calmly, and without the hype. This channel is for educational purposes. It is not meant to be financial advice, so always do your own research and manage your risk wisely.